Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
All right. Just waiting on Jason Strudwick. All of our guests today, including Jason Strudwick, are sponsored by Passant Motors. Get to Passant Motors where the spring rides are ready to roll. Right now, pay no GST or get free gas for a year. Put winter in the rear view mirror. Learn more at Passant Motors, BASANT Motors.com. Got Jason yet? 1 second. Okay. In the meantime, I want to say happy birthday to a regular viewer / listener of ours, Rodney Hampton, out there in Maple Ridge. So happy birthday to Rodney.
And that's from his brother, Dennis.
It is.
Both big fans of the show.
So I usually handle this sort of thing, and we'll have more of that.
Do you know the Hamptons?
Well, I know I don't know the Hamptons, but
that's why I thought you knew them.
No, I just got it in the inbox.
Oh, I know. I read it too.
The Delaney's OK Tire and Langley inbox. All right. We'll figure things out.
Yeah.
Jason knows what this is like. He does a talk show up there in Edmonton, TSN 1260. Oilers bounce LA in 6. Oilers versus Vegas, round 2. Games 1 and 2, Wednesday and Friday in Vegas. Jason joining us now. Jason Strudwick, how are you, sir?
Good. How are you guys making out today?
Good. I love the people who come with a setup like that. Look at that. Isn't that nice?
$1 million. Looks like $1 million, Jace.
Yeah. High quality microphone.
You're a product of your environment.
Yeah. Hey, Daryl Sutter gets let go today, Jason. If you want to go on, expand on that, that's fine. But I want to take it in another direction. So Daryl Sutter gets let go. After the elimination of the Kings the other night, Connor McDavid went on and on about Jay Woodcroft. Thinks he's one of the best coaches in the National Hockey League. So on a day when Daryl Sutter gets fired, what is it that Oilers players love so much about their head coach?
Well, he's coming. He's grown into the position, right? He started as a video coach, and then he's worked his way all the way up to now to arguably one of the stronger coaches of one of the stronger teams in the league. And you hear the players talk about him. I think one thing that is misunderstood about Jay, he's very competitive. He's a very competitive guy. He kind of has that boy next door look. Mm-hmm. He's voted one of the best looking coaches, which I think is debatable, but he is a very, very competitive guy. And then you put in the hockey knowledge he has. And I think he's very open-minded and progressive. Today's player doesn't want to be told what to do. They want to be part of the process. They want to help you and them understand, why do we do this? Why does this make sense? How can this make us better? And then when you're dealing with two elite players like Connor and Leon, they obviously, they're a big part of your team. You have to get them to buy in. And I think he's done that. And when those guys buy in, everyone, the rank and file falls underneath, and then they buy in as well. So he's done a really good job with that. I think we can't forget his assistant coaches. Dave Manson's been with him for a number of years, including the AHL. Dave is doing a wonderful job, both kind of grooming the younger D-men on this court, but also handling those 6 or 7 guys, depending on the night and what their alignment is. And then, Glenn Gullickson's been through a few coaches, but he's kind of a professional coach, been around. And then Mark Stewart, a younger guy who's kind of learning on the fly, but that brings energy. So everyone kind of has their role on it, and everyone has their perspective with the coaching staff. But make no mistake, this is Jay's group and Jay's vision.
Something's going right. Glenn Gullickson, of course, also at one time with the Canucks staff. Okay, yeah. Jason, so it's the Oilers versus Vegas. What was going through your mind when the Oilers were down, 3-0 to the Kings in Game 4 and facing a 3-1 series deficit?
I didn't like this matchup for the Oilers at all. Right from the get-go. I think the Kings are a very, very good team, and I think their team deserves, better than, quite frankly, playing the Oilers in the first round. They're with those two good centermen, Duneau and Kopitar, the way they're coached, they're big, they're physical, they're very talented. This is going to be a good team. So Canucks fans, Oilers fans, Flames fans, and everyone else in the Pacific Division, this team's not going away. They're going to be very hard to beat. So I didn't like the matchup at all. I would have preferred they played Vegas in the first round. That's right. I would have rather they played Vegas. Maybe someone else could have beat the Kings. So, they're down 3-0 in that game. I'm like, oh my God, this is not going to go well. And you start thinking, what's going to happen? The fallout, who are people going to want, major changes and then all of a sudden they kind of find a way, right? They get a goal, then they get the power play goal, then they get back in. The goalie change, obviously, as well. Jack Campbell comes in and makes some huge saves, kind of gets the group going. And then they find the groove after that. And they're able to kind of, run the table. But the Kings were a bad matchup for the Oilers. I don't think the Vegas are as bad a matchup. Not suggesting they're not a good team, because that's not my point. But the Vegas are a better matchup for the Oilers stylistically than the Kings were in round one.
Jason, the Oilers' power play, oh my goodness. 9 for 16 round one, 56%. Look, Vegas has got to stay out of the box, bottom line. But that power play, talk about it and how good it is.
They know where each other is going to be, and their passing is just incredible. I mean, it's just tape to tape, and all those guys zip it around. You look at a guy like Bouchard, the youngish defenseman. You know, people, can he do it with Barry gone? And the answer's been yes. And he has a better shot than Barry did. Probably doesn't move quite as well, but they're finding a rhythm, and now he's a weapon. We've seen him score some significant goals on that power play. He's a weapon for this group on the blue line. So he's a very talented player, and those five guys just snapping around like crazy. On the flip side, I get it's exciting they're getting on the power play. The penalty kill is an area they have to look at. I think that's something they would have to figure out. It was better the second half of the season. I didn't think it was great in the first half or the first round. But again, look at the power play they had. Guys like Kempe, he's a very underrated player in the NHL. 40 goals, maybe the quietest 40 goals in the NHL. You've got Kopitar, Doughty working the point, different guys that come and go as well. So, Vegas, they're going to be, they're going to be good. But the Oilers just came out of a really tough series with a team with a good power play. But the Oilers have to do a better job on the PK.
Hey, Jason, Connor McDavid said Saturday postgame, we're not a 2-3 player team. We got more than just 2-3 guys. One guy that played well was a former Vancouver Giant. If you can comment on Brett Kulak in the series he had against the Kings.
Brett Kulak's a little bit of the forgotten man here. You look at Nurse and Ceci, then you've got they acquired Ekholm. It's been amazing with Bouchard. And when they traded for Ekholm, it was really like they traded for two defensemen, because Bouchard wasn't playing as well until he got Ekholm, and now he's taken off. I want to say at like 10 points in the first round as a D-man, which, is pretty competitive all time here for the Oilers. So they have those top four, and then they have the big guy, Vinny Desharnais, and then Kulak. And I thought Kulak was at times the best defenseman the Oilers had in this series. His skating, his ability to defend, were elite, and he was dumping in, chasing pucks down, jumping up in the play, like he was, and then he scored a goal. Yeah, it kind of blends in. I think it was a game 4, maybe game 5. I'm sorry, they kind of blend in when you're watching so much hockey, and my own kids' hockey as well. So it all kind of blends in together. But anyways, he's been very, very good for Oilers. Really, one of those unsung heroes. And you look at, in years past with the Oilers, there was kind of maybe 2-3 defensemen, then maybe we can get to 5-6 forwards. Now the Oilers, when they're running 11-7, they have, easily 11 forwards that can contribute. And we saw that with Yamamoto, who was 11th forward, started out around maybe 6-7, ended up the 11th forward and scores the series-winning goal last game. And so he's contributing. Vinny Desharnais, who struggled a little bit in the first round, kind of getting up to tempo, but they still had faces them. Had him in there with 3 minutes to go in the game, series clinching game. So the understudies are doing a really good job, competing and making it hard when McDavid and Connor aren't out there, McDavid and Leon. And some nights they're winning the games for the Oilers, which is welcome. That's not saying something bad about Connor and Leon. That's a welcome thing. Connor and Leon just want to win. They don't care. They would rather win 1-0 and have whoever, Derek Ryan, score the goal than to win 6-3 or lose 6-3 and have them, have 3 points each. So they're here to win. They want those guys to do well. And you can see when they score, they're so happy for, again, the guys that maybe are not your usual, highlight names.
Not sure if he's changed from a CCM stick to a Bauer or an old school Coho, Jason, but have the Oilers found their answer in goal in Stuart Skinner?
He's their guy. You came into training camp. Campbell signed the big contract. And you thought that he would kind of be the guy, and Skinner would be the understudy. But Campbell came in, struggled. I do think that the way the contract, for some players that first year is difficult, right? You're now the expectations you feel are maybe higher than what are really actually expected. But so Skinner came in and he had a good year. He made the All-Star team. Towards the end, he made some big wins, like against I think in the game against Toronto, a game in Boston where he kind of let in 2 tough ones, and then he ends up winning the game 3-2. So, but they need Campbell. They're going to need Campbell. I've been saying that all year. I've been, arguing with Ryan Rishaug about this on our podcast, that they're going to need Campbell, and they did. In that game 4, they needed him, and he came in and had a huge game for them. So I think looking forward, they might need him again. And that's not to say that Skinner can't play well, but this is Skinner's first time in the playoffs. He learned a lot. You think about that pulling. You think about the awkward play at the broken stick in the game that ended up being the series clinching game. For him, it's all about learning, and he has a real calm demeanor. I worked with him when he was in grade 9, and I was on the ice with him and his team, kind of working with him, and he was so calm then. So I think he's just going to learn and grow from the situations. But you have to remember, this isn't a playoff hardened Marty Brodeur goalie who's had 4 trips to the Stanley Cup. This is a guy who's had his first series win, and expectations are high here in Edmonton. And now with Boston Bruins out of the playoffs, I think it's really anyone's playoff run. So I expect Stuart Skinner to continue to grow as a player, as a goalie, as this playoffs goes on. And I think the longer it goes, the better it is for him and his team.
Jason, what I'm hearing there is that you worked with Stuart Skinner when he was in grade 9. You're taking credit for the Oilers' success so far this spring.
But you're not just hearing that. That's what I'm saying. Okay. I am a pipeline. I've worked with so many players now, and it's amazing. I don't want to brag.
Who else? Anybody else?
I don't want to start name dropping. Okay. Matt Savoy, Dylan Gunther, which, I don't know. Did I honestly, though, when I go on the ice with those guys, I just don't want to make them worse.
Hey, Dylan Gunther, the people in Kamloops aren't going to be happy. He's helping Seattle right now.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm actually going to go down for a couple days to the Cup, to Kamloops to see it. And then, I just want to see some of my old teammates. And I can't believe it's been, 20, 30 years, I guess, almost, since we dominated those 2 Cups. Yeah.
Former Kamloops Blazer Jason Strudwick. Please tell me that you're not old enough, or you're old. You do remember Bauer sticks, do you not? I thought I had a good line there, and you just kind of breezed over it.
Yeah, well, I got to give credit to the good ones. And,
not Bauer, but no. Coho is what I meant. Yeah.
Coho. Yeah. Branches, maybe another one you could have used. Torspo, that might have been another one.
Titan.
Some of those logs. Titan,
Canadian.
just logs. Now people build their decks out of those things. They're called 2x4s.
That's right, and they'll never break. They'll last for 100 years. Thanks, Jason.
Forever.
I appreciate this. All the best. We'll get you back.
You got it, guys. Enjoy the playoffs.
You bet. Thank you too.